Today I look at the statement, all lives matter, contra Black Lives Matter. My talk today is based on my own personally grounded philosophical standpoint that is not necessarily representative or reflective of the formalized Black Lives Movement in the United States of America and other parts of the world. Given my background, as having been born and raised in racist apartheid South Africa formerly, this thought of whether Black Lives Matter or not has been on my mind for a long time. So this is a contribution onto a larger debate that is based on my own thinking process, at the same time reflecting my support for the Black Lives Matter movement. Today's essay is titled, Black Lives Matter, for All Lives Matter. All lives matter is a counter-statement that is essentially banal, denialist, deviatory, and destructive of a sovereign human rights cause that is enlivened in the pursuit of liberty, equality, and justice. The human rights cause is embedded in all shades Black people's perennial cry to breathe and live in a free world of abundance and human dignity without malice, pain, and suffering at the hands of oppressive classes. In post-Enlightenment Western society developmental discourse, the oppressive classes grew out of the imperialistic capitalist expansion following the collapse of the European feudal system in the Middle Ages and the resultant emergence of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century to the present. Today, we live in the age of AI, artificial intelligence revolution, where and when everything is possible. We've shown before that the growth of contemporary capitalism gave birth to the white supremacy ideology that would subsequently turn the world into a living hell for Black people of the world. It reached the height of tyranny through the colonization of Africa and, worst of all, the capture and deliverance of African people into slavery, as inhuman as it could get in the Americas. In what is today's United States of America, the USA, the enslaved African people were broken to the core, dehumanizing them to levels of degradation beneath animals. Beyond its hardly ever surprising, predictably instantaneous, white-centric defensive posture regularly blurted out, not only to neutralize but trivialize the factual, unabated, deep-seated, transgenerational trauma of Black people, the statement, all lives matter, shall remain fallacious and petty to the extent that Black lives are in theory and practice systemically devalued, exploited, incapacitated, and are even still summarily publicly lynched with impunity in white supremacists and other anti-Black racist worlds. All lives matter is a dull, insulting statement to Black people when their lives don't matter other than as slaves and cheap forms of entertainment sources.
I wanted to take a moment to answer a viewer email we got tonight. Heidi says, can anyone please tell me what this trend of thinking is all about when a person can't say all lives matter? All lives do matter, don't they? Well, Heidi, of course, all lives are supposed to matter, and given that very truth, that also means Black Lives Matter. But I have to tell you, it certainly doesn't feel that way. I've worked hard to get here. I went to good schools, got good grades, tried to do good in the world, never been arrested. But it's scary when I read headlines like this in a major newspaper. Getting killed by police, a leading cause of death for young black men in America. I'm 34 years old, and it doesn't feel like all lives matter when I know I've spent my entire life smiling and doing everything I can to somehow account for the fact that I'm a dark-skinned black male, to make people feel at ease that I'm not a threat. It doesn't feel like all lives matter when folks who look like me are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by police than white people, according to a study conducted by Rutgers University School of Criminal Justice. It doesn't feel like all lives matter when a man who looks like me can be killed by police over $20. It's beyond disturbing.
Please, I can't breathe. Please, man. Please, man.
It doesn't feel like all lives matter when a plea for help is ignored by the very people sworn to protect and serve. And the sad thing is, this is not the first time this has happened. Practically every year it happens again. And so people from all walks of life and all races and backgrounds have joined a movement to remind folks Black Lives Matter. Responding to that cry for justice, that cry for equality with all lives matter is like saying things are already equal, things are already just, and we know that ain't true. Sure, we've come a long way. I'm here tonight all the way from Birmingham, Alabama, once known as Birmingham, because of the many people who stood up and cried and prayed and marched for a better day. Well, guess what? The march toward better continues in communities all across this country with one simple message. Black Lives Matter.
All lives matter cannot hold as an absolute, universally applicable truth statement for as long as indignities and genocide are daily realities threatening the existence of the Aborigines and Maoris of Australia and New Zealand, respectively, of the Rohingya people of Myanmar, of the Romani people of Europe, the indigenous people of the Americas, the Yazidis of the Middle East, the Hazaras of Afghanistan, the Dalits of India, and the Uyghurs of China, to name but more people of the world, the lives of whom some dominant classes have decided that they do not matter at all.
Man has been arrested after allegedly pulling a gun on a Black Lives Matter supporter in Martinez. This confrontation happened as a group was watching over a BLM mural that had been vandalized. ABC 7 News reporter Ansar Hassan has a video you will only see on ABC 7.
An arrest was made moments after a driver allegedly yelled "All Lives Matter" and pulled a gun on a member of a crowd watching over a Black Lives Matter mural in Martinez.
He rolled by us and yelled at, everybody and flipped us off. So I got on my skateboard, just kind of followed him to get the plates. He made a U-turn, came back at me and pointed a gun in my face, said, "You want to do something?" That's it. Immediately a cop was behind him and pulled him over, thank God.
The suspect was arrested without incident as he put his hands out the window and on police command exited his Jeep, walking backwards towards the officers. A group has been standing guard over the mural after it was defaced on Saturday by this unidentified couple claiming all lives matter.
No one wants Black Lives Matter here, that's what I said.
Oh, really?
All lives matter, you punk.
As the woman painted, the couple was taunted, being called racist and colonizers by onlookers.
Don't have a run-in with the law and don't resist arrest, it won't be a problem.
Which one is yours?
All day Sunday, people came by to write messages of solidarity. Community organizer Justin Gomez got the permit to create the mural. He says the mural is in response to white supremacist recruitment flyers found circulating in Martinez last week. He says he's open to having a dialogue with the couple, who police say they're looking for.
This is just one part of the entire conversation. This is words on pavement. Ultimately, what we are striving for is anti-racist policies on the books.
Black Lives Matter asserts black people's right to exist and live on the same terms as everyone else on earth. Indeed, driven by emotions anchored in science, the world ought to guarantee provision and access to basic human needs to all that live in it. Unpredictable natural catastrophes challenges granted, people of the world's dreams and hopes for longevity must be grounded on non-variable starting points. All that society does to facilitate and sustain humanity's aspirations for worthy longevity must not be at the expense of certain groups of people to the benefit of others. Longevity presupposes unhindered capacity to self-perpetuate. As mammals, human beings self-perpetuate through sexual reproduction. All things remaining equal, successful sexual reproduction shall bring forth another human being to the extent that both the male sperm and female egg carry genetic material containing the human genome. This is basic high school branch of science called biology. Both from the survival adaptation imperatives in given times and spaces in nature, or induced genocidal intentions in power conflict areas across the world, genetic material mutates all the time. That fact notwithstanding, the human genome remains an infinite constant. Constancy of the human genome construct defies all man-made human segregation tools based on physical features, origin, faith, or creed. If and when human sperms and female eggs unite, either through direct sexual intercourse or in the test tube, fertilization takes place. This forms the basis for the creation of a new life that, upon sexual maturity and all things remaining equal, will have the capacity to carry forward propagation of the species as a matter of course. That is scientifically verifiable miracles of nature at work. Therefore, historical and current white supremacist, hate-driven systemic killings of black people all over the world is blatant display of the willful intention to disrupt their capacity not only to reproduce themselves, but to contribute to the propagation of the species. That way, unilaterally declaring that black people, black lives are not worthy of being part of humanity on earth. Saying in no uncertain terms that, in fact, black lives don't matter.
Hits Radio Breakfast. It's time to speak up. Black Lives Matter, that's the message, that's the fight. The fight against racism and not against white. It's a movement with the message that is centuries old. So if you stand against injustice, then speak up and be bold. We've seen everybody come together, stay at home and work together, fighting against a virus that we can't even see. Now we face another virus, one called racism, and silence isn't gonna save lives or protect you and me. 8 minutes, 46 seconds, can you believe? George Floyd was held down, saying he couldn't breathe. It's time to stand up, time to put your hands up, time to understand love's the answer and enough is enough. enough. People fear for their lives through the shade they were painted. Can you see the picture has been tainted? The hashtag does not accuse you or exclude you. Saying all lives matter is only seeing what you choose to. If you don't have a clue, it's like crashing a stranger's funeral and screaming, yeah, I lost someone too. The inequity, complexity, the pain, the perplexity, the gunning and running and trying and numbing the pain, the sheer immensity. We're meant to be in this together. So speak up for your brothers, for your sisters, sons and daughters, for the slaughtered, born to a black mother and my father was white. My future children will be black and will continue the fight. Do something, say something, yeah, we all have a voice. And in the color of our skin, none of us had a choice. You can continue to divide, but the truth will remain. Underneath our skin, we all bleed the same.
If as science shows that black people carry the human genome and can as such sexually reproduce with other creatures carrying the same exact, non-changeable, specific human genome, then to trivialize Black Lives Matter is tantamount to asserting and operationalizing the statement that Black lives don't matter. That in itself nullifies the All Lives Matter statement and its premises, because Black lives are an inherent constituent of the totality of all lives.
Black Lives Matter. No racism, more love.
Black Lives Matter.
No racism, more love.
Black Lives Matter. No racism, more love.
No racism, more love.
Black Lives Matter. No racism, more love.
Black Lives Matter.
A stray bullet and a mama cries. Her baby won't be coming home tonight. Sad one screaming down the avenue. Just another story on the evening news. Oh,
Black Lives Matter.
Whoa. Politics and prejudice. How did it come to this? When everybody's gotta pick a side, it don't matter if you're wrong or right, no, and so it goes. But I hold on to hope and I won't let go, 'cause I believe you and me are sisters and brothers, and I believe we're made to be here for each other, and we'll never fall if we walk hand in hand. But a world that seems broken together again, yeah, I believe in the end, love wins.
No racism, more love.
Love wins. Sometimes it takes a lot of faith to keep believing there will come a day when the tears and the sadness, the pain and the hate, the struggle, this madness will fade away. Yeah, I believe you and me are sisters and brothers, and I believe we're made to be here for each other, and we'll never fall if we walk hand in hand. But a world that seems broken together again, yeah, I believe in the end, love wins.
No racism, more love.
Love is a power, love is a smile, love reaches out, love is the remedy, love is the answer, love's an open door, love is the only thing worth fighting for.
Love wins.
I believe you and me are sisters and brothers, and I believe we're made to be here for each other, and we'll never fall if we walk hand in hand. But a world that seems broken together again, yeah,
Lives Matter.
Love wins. Black Lives Matter. No racism, more love.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. No to racism. Black Lives Matter.
Love still.
No racism, more love.
No racism, more love. Love still. Love wins.
Pearl supports Black Power.
No racism, more love.
No racism, more love. Love wins. Love wins.
Black Lives Matter is an absolute philosophical and scientific postulate. If it is scientific, it is what it is. Don't go there. If it is philosophical, then it can be, and it is, a political voice. If it is a political voice, then it addresses itself to the subjective aspects of being human in organized society. Organized society is there to serve and help humanity to harness itself and nature in order that all life, that is, all people and nature, can thrive in a sustainable, mutually beneficial symbiosis. Black Lives Matter is not only a cry of frustration or raw anger, it is an awakening call, a pedagogic statement to the ignorant, myopic bigots and oppressors of the world. I dare say that Black Lives Matter is actually a preemptive statement against potential racial wars. Black Lives Matter is a cry of love and peaceful coexistence. Simply put, Black Lives Matter is a cry for equality, fairness, and justice. In all honesty, nobody wants a war. All level-headed people of the world whose all lives matter postulate is absolute and inclusive know that absolutely all the wars that are being fought in the world to this day will never bring lasting peace, neither love nor eventual harmonious coexistence. Victory scored by one side today will be sustained by further application of war methods to contain the vanquished. The fact is, no matter how long it takes, the defeated, whether justified or not, shall rise again. And then the war spiral goes on and on. In our 21st century age of artificial intelligence, AI, anybody can wage a war. Anybody can make or have access to weapons of mass destruction. Oh, brother, war is not the answer. As a political social change platform, Black Lives Matter is a call for dialogue, a conversation about how to move forward, because we have reached a stalemate in the world today. If we want to save the earth and prevent our own self-annihilation as humans, we really have no choice but to come together somehow to make the statement, all lives matter, a living. Oh yeah, what a wonderful world. Reality for all, here and now. That was the topic today, testing the validity of the statement, all lives matter, contra Black Lives Matter.
George Floyd's story has been the story of black folks, because ever since 401 years ago, The reason we could never be who we wanted and dreamed to be in is you kept your knee on our neck. We were smarter than the underfunded schools you put us in, but you had your knee on our neck. We could run corporations and not hustle in the street, but you had your knee on our neck.
Black Lives Matter is the hashtag that we all know better. Black Lives Matter is still a metaphor that we still don't matter. I hope you don't lose sight of your visionary life endeavors. Last per second later like a marathon that you drop that bait in. I just depends on the noise we make, not the constitution. That's why freedom is just an illusion and we see it as delusion. And when we tell black people we got the ingredients to bake the cake, hope you don't lose on your weight and your balance when you're trying to find your way. I say I'm roots of African, part of my heart, it's sweet that seed that grows. Maneuver through the pressure, we make it out, it's not a question, bro. Your dreams are suffocating and your palms are saying you gotta let it go. It's already a curse that you're black, so you gotta hustle more. Because I'm just a young black nigga from the hood, trying to make it more than move up. I add value inside the movement. I say I'm only human, I gotta stand for what I believe for. And I believe in more than equals, I equally gotta eat. That's why I'm protesting in my lyrics and putting fire on that tire. I'm just the same as that person holding that board saying that we tired. On the street corners every time fighting for what is both our rights. Me and you are not alike, I prophesy that we gon' rise. While we keep fighting with the system, hope I don't die from telling this. But black men gon' stand your ground in this evil world to resist. That's why they hide the apocalypse, they don't want us to have a glimpse. Because once we get it, they know they won't be able to predict. That's why black lives don't matter, we made to put each other down on that letter. Don't sleep on the contents of this letter, we need to do more better. Shoot to kill if it's a black man doing God's work for more pennies. 20 pennies is still a mission, I need to get paid for my miracles. Am I greedy? Not every time in the mirror, I still see God's favorite. I get my spirit in my music, I don't play with no demons. I don't need to get more reasons, we made to believe that we evil. Imagine if it's a black office, I kill it, no doubt it's a needle. Not a racial card that I'm playing, but it deserves to equal rights. We cannot die on our knees or to a knee, Mr. Office, I cannot breathe. Is it because I'm just a black man in the neighborhood of the elite? Even so, I plead guilty, I still repeat, I cannot breathe. Can I at least make one more call before you take away my life? Maybe say goodbye to my wife and kids, I can't just leave like this. What do I say when I get to heaven? Did I deserve to die like this? Now my kid has to grow up with no hero because of the color on my skin. I mean, we all gon' die, but that's not for you to decide. You're the officer of the law, not the person who decides who goes on. Though we still a threat to the system, that's why they kill us. If they had to make a decision, there will be no black contenders. So black people more than half, let's take back what is our pride. I don't speak just for the applause, I hope we change what is our mindset too. Hope we don't shy away from the subliminal truth that we equal. Let's get together with our people that can't stand that we lethal. So what makes you feel like you're winning when you're fighting and pulling down your siblings? You only do great when your brothers are down, you don't carry no difference. Lacking the passion to have persistence in your decisions. That's why you're always chasing cloud, looking for places to go be great. So search in your inner soul, what you winning if you got no passion. Shout out to my niggas moving proud of telling the soul to all go get it. It's tough but we in the end game where poverty is not a thing. We in the ring with a lot of racist Oreos, still keep it real. How ironic, my nigga Pan told me go back to the pen and paper. Now I'm slamming ducks like a league, I always wanted to feel the staples. Minute I heard that I'm falling off, I went back to the drawing board. Now I'm back with freedom and knowledge coming out of my vocal cords. I still repeat, I'm just a black man still chasing on his dream. I mean no faint to speak my heart, I hope one day they will accept me. I don't conform with the latest trends, I evolve, I still keep it real. If you wanna bump it with my niggas, 100 bags is still a mission. Damn it, I'm gifted, I know. Put up my name on your show. I rate you tripping the songs, you cannot ignore, we coming for more. Judge me, I know that I smoke. Who do you think you I got? Nigga, do leave me alone, I'm in my zone, don't call on my phone, yeah.
There is a time and a season. And when I looked this time and saw marches where in some cases young whites outnumbered the blacks marching, I know that it's a different time and a different season.
Thank you for watching. Love and peace always. Black Lives Matter, for all lives matter.